Today, I had my second meditation in the morning, again, 11 o'clock. This time, Norbert, my spiritual mentor, he had some stuff to do. So me and Pietra, we had meditation together, me and her. And at the end of the meditation, we had a conversation. And again, she talked about her bipolar problem. And I told her that she doesn't have to give herself some name by telling that she has bipolar. And I said that it's not only she has bipolar, like we all have multipolar. We all have multi-lives. It's like the tree of life, the tree of life. The tree of life, you can see the root, and then you can see the branch, so many branches and so many leaves. This is how our lives look like. Of course, this is my hypothesis, and there are so many, it's not only me, like it's not even my idea. Like there are so many spiritual teachers. This is what they say. And I tend to, I have inclination to agree with them. It's as though our lives is like the tree of life. That's why it's called tree of life. Like each life, each living being is as though it's a tree. We have a root and we have branches, so many branches, and so many leaves in each branches. The life that we are living right now, we at the same time simultaneously living our past and our future at this very moment. And so we all have multipolar lives. We are living all our lives simultaneously. So sometimes maybe we tap, maybe it's not even maybe, like that's of course, that's how I believe, how I think. So sometimes we tap into our past lives, we tap into our future lives, and we feel upset, we feel all the possibilities and all the upsetting things. Maybe it has already happened in the past, that our memory bank kind of bring us back to the moment, and we feel as though we are getting hijacked by some other entity or by other beings. I just think that all these mental problems that we give name to, I don't think that is simply physical issue or simply software issue. I think it's beyond physical and emotional and physical issue. I think it's all sourcing from our spirit, our parallel lives. Those people who have DID, like multi-personality disorder, like bipolar disorder or schizophrenia or I don't know, like so many other problems. I cannot even name it. I think it's all sourcing from our spirits. Sometimes disassociate with the current life and kind of get lost into other parallel lives in other past lives or future lives, or in other parallel lives. And then we think that that person is mentally sick or mentally ill. I think we have to practice mindfulness more often, so that we no longer need to have names. So no longer we have to give ourselves some humanly builded names. Like words, sometimes I don't even know why we have to give so much weight, so much heavy weight into the words. Words doesn't mean anything. It's just a tool to understand each other, understand ourselves, and communicate with other people clearly. I don't know, like of course without words sometimes we cannot express everything telepathically, so it works, it helps, but we don't have to give so much weight. Like we don't have to express other people that I have bipolar all the time. Like she always mentions that she has bipolar, she have OCD, she has autism. Like she doesn't have to say that all the time, because the more she says, the more she kind of manifests, even if she's not. Maybe she is, but I don't know. Like I just don't understand. Like in the past, I was so focused on the noise outside of my house. Especially there was a time I was living in another dormitory, and every day they were drilling something in the downstairs, and I was so angry, so pissed off. I went to the downstairs and I told the management that if I happen to kill someone, it's not my it's not my responsibility, because I've already told them so. I was so pissed off because I was so focusing on the noise, the thing that I focused on. So if you focus on something too much, it will get bigger, it will just expand even more. But if you choose to not to focus on that specific thing, it just moves, it just flows away, just like a cloud. Because our thoughts, just like a cloud, we don't, like, if only when we give weight to that, it rains. It rains because we manifest. So it starts raining, that cloud starts raining. But if we don't pay attention to that cloud of thoughts, it just flows away. It just comes and goes. And so the thoughts, like so many thoughts, and it's not only our thoughts, it's like so many, it's like the collective thoughts, it always flows. It always flows. Like we are always connected to the cloud of the thoughts of the collective. Sometimes we dissociate with our job, with so many other things, but sometimes we kind of tap into that collective cloud of thoughts, and then we get bombarded by so many different stuff that does not belong to us. So many information that does not belong to us. So I don't know, like I told her, I mean, this is a good thing that we are doing meditation so that she can focus on other things, other stuff. Right now, for example, we have been talking, like in the morning we've been talking about like spiritual things, rather than we kind of shifted the topic that we were talking about. We shifted to another topic. Then I shifted another topic. So I think it kind of helps, especially with people with the mental distortions. Like, I mean, I have time to time. We all have mental distortions time to time. nobody is perfect, nobody is 100% healthy. It's just that we have to have a community to talk to all the time, because only when we have a community, when we think the interests of the community, then we uplift each other, then we collectively uplift, like kind of elevate each other. But when we are alone, then we forgot, because we kind of bog down with our own problems, we forget how other people suffer or what problems the other people have. Such as today, at the end of before we hang out the phone, we started to talk about I told her that I'm so craving to go to Egypt, and she told me that she also wants to go, and I said that okay, then why not we go together. And plus Pietra is a lesbian, and so sometimes she thinks that, I mean, it's not, maybe I'm not sure, but maybe it's not easy for her to also make friends. I mean, I don't know. I mean, especially right now, maybe it's not difficult, because now it seems like the LGBTQ plus community is getting bigger and bigger. But it's surprising that she is not really favor of every thoughts that is being put out by the LGBTQ plus community. She was today explaining the anti-woke culture. Like she said that she's also not favoring those people who are advocating how people should change their gender and stuff. She said as a lesbian, she doesn't, like as a gay person or as a homosexual, she doesn't approve those kind of things. So I was kind of surprised, although she told me before, but we didn't really talk so deeply. And I told her, like, I don't really care, like as long as she's a like, I don't really care people's choices, people's preferences, as long as they are kind and they are considerate of other people. Look, it's not my business. They can be anything, but when they try to contaminate other people's minds, like when they try to groom some young people in the 12 years old, 13 years old, and take them to the hormone therapy and change their whole life, their whole destiny, the trajectory of their lives, then I feel so against those kind of things. Like, I think a human being until 25 years old, they are still not mature. They are still not able to make favorable decisions. I am this year I'm 33 years old, and I still have so many things that I have to think many days to make sure that I'm making the wise decision. Because that decision that I'm about to make involves not only me, but the interest of so many other people. So I have to think about it. I cannot make decisions right away, especially when that kind of decision involving so many other people's lives and so many other people's interests. And so we were talking about how those trans movement is getting weirder and more toxic. And I told her that, like, I would rather sleep with her than sleeping with a perverted guy with so many toxic ideas. Like, I wouldn't really care if she's lesbian or if she's gay. I don't really care. I mean, my brother is gay, and I am, based on the indigenous people's description, I am two-spirited being. Like, I am quite balanced masculine, feminine being. Like my masculine and feminine energies are quite balanced. So I will say that I'm not so masculine and I'm not so feminine. Maybe sometimes I tap into my masculine side more, and sometimes I tap into my feminine side more, my creative side more. But generally I will say that I'm quite balanced being. And so I can relate to the feminine people, so feminine or so masculine, or gay people, because I kind of feel like my personality kind of feel like gay, or non-binary. But yeah, I just told her that like people pay too much attention onto their preferences, onto their mental problems, onto their unique parts. Like they kind of pay too much attention that it's become so toxic after some time, because there is also the negative side of it, because if people pay too much attention to their problems, such as if they say I'm bipolar or I have this problem, that problem, in the future you don't know the consequences of all these things that you once mentioned. Maybe people exclude her. Like I told her many times. I met Pietra last year. Yeah, it was it last year or 2 years ago? Yeah. And I told her the first day when we met, I asked her whether she was a lesbian, because I sensed that she was more masculine, and she said yes. And I said that, you know what, I don't mind, because I have many lesbian friends and I have many gay friends. My brother is gay, so I said I wouldn't like care, because I can relate to her. Like I wouldn't mind to be with her friend. Then she saw my sincerity, and so she was really glad that she met me, and I was so glad that I met her, because she's very intelligent, very kind, very sincere person. And but the first time that we met, she was always paying too much attention to her problems, and I said that the more you mention, the more you expand that problem, and maybe you don't even have such problem, but it's kind of you manifest that problem into your life. I mean, I always say that we don't really have negative, like we are really not lack of negativity in this world. We are lack of positivity. Like people need to be more optimistic, need to be more positive, because I sometimes lose myself to the negativity, negative thoughts, toxic thoughts. I mean, we are all human beings. Sometimes we all think about all the past events which make us feel so resentful, rageful, hateful. But then I always warn myself, I always remind myself that this is not is going to help me nor to humanity. Like I have to release all those things, because we are humans, we make mistakes and we learn, and everyone is each other's teacher. Like we all are each other's teacher. That person that hurt you teach you something, and you taught them something, so you are each other's teacher. So we really are not lack of negativity. We have to be more positive, we have to be more optimistic, we have to have more hope, and we have to embrace the grace of the God more, especially nowadays, because nowadays people are getting more and more lost. And that's why I'm so glad that recently I've been reading Bible. It's kind of and for the past few years, I guess maybe because of the Saturn and Neptune was transiting in my 9th house, about my philosophy, about my religious house. I guess maybe because of this reason it's transiting in my 9th house. So I've been reading so many religious textbooks and so many philosophical textbooks. I felt like the God's grace. Like in the Buddhist books I've learned a lot. In the Bible these days I've been reading, I've learned a lot. And I felt how beautiful the religions can be used, because the prayers, like I also have an app, I have two apps. One is the Bible app, I'm reading Bible, and the other app is prayer app, is another Christian app, like it's prayers of the from the Bible and daily prayer. So it's kind of every day give me a prayer, every day send me a prayer, and so I just read it out. I'm not even Christian, like I don't really follow any religion, but I don't really care whichever religion it could be. I don't mind any prayer. I don't mind to go to a church. I don't mind to go to a temple. I don't mind to go to a mosque. Like I don't mind to go to any holy place to pray for myself and for the humanity and for the cosmos, for the whole globe. I just realized for the past few years, I realized how beautiful religions can be used at, if it's being used in the optimum way. And Beatra is Christian, and so I told her, I reminded her, and I sent also the app to her. I said that maybe she should trust in God, surrender to God, surrender to Jesus Christ. Because when you surrender to the God, to the Jesus Christ, to the Creator that you believe in, you would know that there is nothing to fear of. You would know that there is no such thing as mental distortions, because you truly feel supported by the grace of the God. There is nothing to fear of. There is nothing can distort your brain, can distort your mind, can distort your heart. I feel like nowadays maybe we need to bring all those traditional beliefs even more. Of course, not the extreme side of it, because I've been coming from the extreme side of the religious community, family. But now I'm glad that my family is also have been changing a lot. So I think religions are really not bad, and people, when you observe people who believe in God, people who pray daily, you can see how hopeful they are, how positive they are, how compassionate and merciful they are. But of course there are fake people everywhere. You just have to focus on the right people. But I feel like nowadays, in the midst of all this toxicity, maybe we should be taking and owning all these traditional beautiful things, like our religions, of course in a mild way, and our prayers back. Yeah.